بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وعلى أصحابه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Today we'll start with Mawani'ul Mirath, or the exclusions. Who are the ones who are excluded? Mawani'ul Mirath means those who are, or things which excludes a person from being qualified to inherit. People in general, the family members, they are the close family members, especially the male ones, are always qualified to inherit, but there are cases in which they are disqualified. These cases are, the first case is the case of killing. The murderer, a person who kills a person, will not get any share from his inheritance. Like for example, a brother killed his brother. This brother will not deserve anything from the inheritance of his brother. A son killed his father. He won't get anything from the share of his, or from the estate of his father. This is a principle. The first matter which disqualifies a person from inheriting in others is the matter of killing. If someone kills, he is disqualified from inheriting the man who was killed. The other case. Now before jumping to the other case, where a person is excluded, let me tell you about the issue where the scholars differ. The scholars differ on the matter of justifiable killing. If there was a justifiable killing, a killing which you can justify, that you killed him because he deserves to be killed, for example, or you killed him accidentally, you didn't want to kill him purposely. So if that's justifiable, which means that it's not punishable. So in that case, the majority, Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmad, they say if the killing was justifiable, you can justify it, and you are not taken as blameworthy after doing that killing, then a person will deserve his share from the inheritance. But if the killing was not justifiable, it was an aggressive killing without any right, without any law, then the person is disqualified. So this is the issue on which the scholars differ. Imam Shafi differs with the majority. Imam Shafi says whether it's justifiable or no, in all cases, the one who's killing is not qualified to inherit the one who was killed. And you have a maxim from the fiqh maxims. Most probably you remember the fiqh maxims. مَنْ تَعَجَّلَ شَيْئًا عُوقِبَ بِحِرْمَانِهِ. That he who hastens a matter will be punished by depriving him from that matter. So he hastened the inheritance. He wanted to get something from inheritance without or before its proper time. So such a person will be punished by depriving him from the inheritance. So this is the first case. The first of killing. The first case is the case of killing, where a person is considered to be disqualified from gaining anything from the inheritance of the man who was killed. The second case is the difference of religion. If there are two people from different religions, but they are brothers, the first brother is a Muslim, the second brother is a non-Muslim, can they inherit each other? No, they cannot inherit each other. So the case of difference in religion is considered to be an impediment, a case where the person or the people are disqualified from inheriting each other. The Prophet ﷺ clearly says about this matter, لا يرث المسلم الكافر. A Muslim will never inherit the kafir, the disbeliever. ولا الكافر المسلم. Nor a kafir, nor a disbeliever, nor a non-Muslim can inherit a Muslim. So it's very clearly mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ. What about people from different religions? People from different religions. About people from different religions, the scholars differ. Let's say that there was a person from the Jewish community, another person from the Christian community. Can these people inherit each other? According to the majority, they cannot inherit each other because they are from different religions. And the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يتوارث أهل ملتين. That people of two religions will never get inheritance from each other, will never inherit each other. لا يتوارث أهل ملتين. No inheritance shall take place between people of different religion or two religions, two distinct religions. But Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, he's having a different look to this issue. He says that the people who are from different religions else than Islam, are all considered to be non-Muslims. So according to him, all the non-Muslims are like one religion, followers of one religion, and that's the non-Islamic religion. And the Muslims are of a distinct religion. So there's a difference between Muslims and non-Muslims. Non-Muslims together, one religion, according to Imam Ahmad. Based on a narration which says, Al-Kufru millatun wahida, that disbelief is one religion. Kufr is one religion. So based on that, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal says that the disbelievers, the non-Muslims, they can inherit each other, but they cannot inherit the Muslims. Even the Muslims cannot inherit the non-Muslims. The matter of Muslims and non-Muslims today is counted to be a crucial matter. There are many Muslims who are revert actually, who were belonging to non-Muslim families, and then they accepted Islam. After embracing Islam, maybe someone from the family will die, and he will deserve something from his property. But now after acceptance of Islam, the fatwa for him, the legal opinion for him is that if someone dies from your family, because you are Muslim, you cannot inherit from them. Is not this the opinion of the majority? The majority of this, all the four Imams actually, they believe if one member of the family is Muslim, he cannot take anything from the inheritance of others. But this is becoming a problem today, especially in the West, where you have one or two members in the family or in the tribe who are Muslims, and the remaining are non. If these people die, the law will give the non-Muslims his property, his estate. So why should he not take from them? This is a question which is raised today. That why this man is deprived when they are taking from him? Why the majority are not allowing him? So based on this issue, some of the contemporary scholars, they came to a conclusion that if a person is in such a case, in a case where his family is non-Muslim and he's the only Muslim, and if he will not take his share from the inheritance, the government will take it. Non-Muslims will take it. It will go to them. So what should he do in here? Here, some scholars like Shaykh al-Islam, and they also say Muawiyah from the Sahaba, they're having the opinion that a Muslim can inherit a non-Muslim, but a non-Muslim will not inherit a Muslim. They implemented this opinion because of the need of the people today. But however, they say that, if you get something from a non-Muslim, don't consume it. Don't use it for yourself. You go and give it in charity to someone who's Muslim, who deserves, or who is under a problem, suffering from. Give it to him so that he may benefit, and it's better for a Muslim to benefit from the property than a non-Muslim. So this is like a solution that you didn't benefit, but at the same time you prevented your money from going to those who might be like enemies of Islam or non-Muslims or whatever. And it is said that in Fiqh Ahlul Bayt, in the Shia school of thought, according to the Shiites, a Muslim can gain from the non-Muslims. This is established with them, with the Shiites. What about a murtad? A person who apostates from Islam. A person who leaves his religion. Can the Muslims inherit the man or no? According to the majority, a murtad, someone who turned his face away from Islam, someone who left Islam, his property, if he dies, according to the majority, his property should go to Baytul Mal. It should not be taken by his heirs, by his family members. It should go to Baytul Mal. And according to the Hanafi school of thought, the Muslim members of the family can distribute the property of the murtad among themselves. But here, the stand of the majority is stronger here. Why the opinion of the majority is stronger? Because of the clear hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says, لا يرث مسلم كافر. A Muslim never inherits from a non-Muslim. A murtad is a clear non-Muslim. Another issue, tiny issue, but which is counted to be an important issue, especially in places where the Muslims and the Sunnis and Shiites live together, like in Iraq, in Iran, in Kuwait, in Bahrain, in Yemen, some areas in places in Asia as well. We have many places in these countries where Muslims, Sunnis and Shiites live together. And in many cases you may find some family members as Shiites and some as Sunnis. This also can happen. So can they inherit from each other or not? This is an issue. Based on the division of scholars of Aqidah for the innovators, the scholars of Aqidah, they say that the innovators are divided into two groups. The first is the group of the innovators who lose their faith due to the innovation. If a person is losing his faith due to the innovation, that innovation is leading him to kufr, it's an innovation of kufr, then you cannot inherit anything from him. And if the innovation is not leading him to kufr, it's not leading him to disbelieve, then you can inherit from him. What about the Shiites? The innovation in which they are, will it lead them to disbelieve or not? The scholars differ on it. There are some strict scholars who say that the Shiites are disbelievers. There are others who say that they are innovators but they are not disbelievers. So based on these two opinions, it's actually, according to my understanding, it's difficult to declare someone who believes in La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, to say that he is a disbeliever. I think that this is very, very, very difficult. However, we disagree with many things which they do. We especially disagree with the matter of walaya, that to believe in the matter of imamah. We don't believe in imamah, that you have to believe in 12 imams. We don't believe in this thing. But this difference in opinion should not lead us to call a people who are saying La ilaha illallah, to call them as disbelievers. Now this was the second issue, the issue of disbelieving, or the issue of difference of faith, that it could disqualify a person from inheriting the person who belongs to a different faith. Another issue which disqualifies, which is not a living issue anymore, is slavery. Slavery disqualifies a person from inheritance. One more issue is the difference of country. In the past, the countries were divided as Muslim countries and non-Muslim countries. Darul Islam and Darul Harb, Darul Kufr. This is how they used to divide the lands in the past. Today this division is no more existing. The fuqaha in the past, they used to say that if a person lives in Darul Islam, another person lives in Darul Kufr, means a person lives with the Umayyads, another person lives with the Romans in their country, then the people who are living with the Muslims will not inherit. The people who are living in Darul Kufr will not inherit from those who are living in Darul Islam. So the difference of difference in countries, living countries, was causing a problem in the past, but today this is not a problem anymore, because today the laws, the situation, the political scene, everything changed. Today the countries are not divided based on religion. In the past, this is the Islamic state and that is the Christian state. This is how it was in the past. Today this division internally you may find, as a faith you may find, but as a division, countries are not divided in this way anymore today. It's more of a globe. The globalization is taking over everything today. People are like becoming like one family, one village, one country, one culture. This globalization thing, which is according to some is a curse, it's not a good thing, is taking over, and the matter of dar is no more effective today. That's why most of the fuqaha, they don't consider the matter of dar as an impediment today, as a mana today, as something which disqualifies a person today. However, in some countries like Syria and other countries, you may find that the law says that if the country in which the people are living is a country which is not allowing the Syrians or the citizens of the country to inherit from the citizens of that country, then we will also not give them inheritance. There are some countries in which this law works, that if that country is not allowing us to inherit, our people to inherit from their people, then we will also not allow their people to inherit from our people. So this is something, now this, if they are Muslims, Muslim countries, but because of some political differences they are not allowing each other, this is a major mistake. This is against Islam. But if there is some other justification, it could be accepted. So these issues which I mentioned now, these are considered to be mawani'ul mirath. The author of Rahbiya says in his poetry, وَيُمْنَعُ الشَّخْصُ مِنَ الْمِيرَاثِ وَيَمْنَعُ الشَّخْصَ مِنَ الْمِيرَاثِ وَاحِدَةٌ مِنْ عِلَلٍ ثَلَاثٍ. وَيَمْنَعُ الشَّخْصَ مِنَ الْمِيرَاثِ. A man is disqualified from mirath if he is having one of the three defects, or one of the three causes. Which are these three causes? رِقٌّ وَقَتْلٌ وَاخْتِلَافُ دِينِ فَافْهَمْ فَلَيْسَ شَكُّكَ الْيَقِينِ. He says, رِقٌّ وَقَتْلٌ وَاخْتِلَافُ دِينِ. Riq means slavery, qatl means killing, ikhtilafu deen means difference of religion. These are the three causes. فَافْهَمْ فَلَيْسَ شَكُّكَ الْيَقِينِ. He says, understand this, because the certainty is not like doubtfulness. There is an important issue that we have to learn before going to the chapter of Hajj. On page 23, you can see it speaks about Hajj Nuqsan and Hajj Hirman. Before going deep into Hajj Nuqsan and Hajj Hirman, which is on page 23, I just wanted to clarify the issue of the types of inheritors, the types of heirs. You have three types of heirs. The heirs are the people who are qualified to inherit. These are of three types. The first is أصحاب الفروض. أصحاب الفروض. This is the first type. The second type is العصبات. العصبات. I'm not as good as some students are. And then the third is Ulu al-Arham. So you have three categories of heirs. You have the Ashab al-Furud, al-Asabat, and Ulu al-Arham. These three categories of heirs are the ones which are mentioned in the books of fiqh. Who are Ashab al-Furud? Ashab al-Furud are those people whose share is mentioned in the Quran clearly. These are the ones whom we call as Ashab al-Furud. We have the Asabat. Asabat are those who take the remaining. The residuary heirs are known as Asabat. The residuary are those people who take the remaining. After giving the first people their share, the remaining is given to the Asaba. So you call them Asaba. And for example, if a person dies, leaving behind his wife, his mother, and brothers, if you give the mother her share, 1/3, and you give the wife her share, the remaining will go to whom? The Asabat. If you go to the Asabat, the male close members of the deceased, who are the brothers in this case, they are Asabat. They will take the remaining. For the Asabat, basically the one who takes under the title of Asabat, a share under the title of Asabat, for these people a clear amount of share is not mentioned, a clear fraction for them is not mentioned. Whatever is remaining will go to them. There is nothing clearly mentioned for for uncle. Why nothing clearly mentioned? Because whatever remains after giving the first people what they deserve will go to the Am, because he is Asabat. So what I want to tell you here, easy words, Ashab al-Furud are those whose shares are mentioned clearly in the Quran. Asabat are those who take the remaining things. And Ulul Arham, Who are ulul arham? Ulul arham are those relatives who are connected to the deceased through a woman, like through the mother, through a sister, and so on and so forth. Those relatives who are connected to the deceased through a woman are considered to be asabat. But in certain cases, they are not connected. They are not, ulul arham. In certain cases, they are not connected through a woman, but still they are considered to be ulul arham. Like whom? Like the daughter of a brother. A brother is asabat, uncle is asabat, cousin is asabat. But what about the daughter of a brother, daughter of an uncle, daughter of a cousin? These people are connected through a male member, yet they are considered to be ulul arham because they are females and they are connected to a man who is himself is not an heir. He is only asabat. So there could be cases in which a female member who is connected to the deceased through a asabat is declared as ulul arham. In general, ulul arham are those in general cases. In most of the cases, we are not speaking about exceptional cases. In most of the cases, ulul arham are those who are connected to the deceased through a woman, like the brother of the mother, like the son of a sister, like your maternal uncle. These are people who are connected to you. They are connected to you, but they are connected to you through a woman. So they are considered to be ulul arham. If a person is not having asabat, then ulul arham will take the share or take the stake. It is reported that in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there was a man who died, was not having children, was not having ascendants, descendants, was not having asabat, no uncles, no nothing. But he was having a maternal uncle, Khal. So the Prophet ﷺ decided to give his share to the maternal uncle because he is from ulul arham. Allah says in the Quran, وَأُولُو الْأَرْحَامِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلَى بِبَعْضٍ فِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. So I hope that these three things are clear. When we come to asabat, we'll speak about two more things related to asabat. These two more things are asaba nasabiyya and asaba sababiyya. So you have asaba nasabiyya and asaba sababiyya. Two types of asabat are there. These two types of asabat, we'll discuss them in the lesson of asabat because I don't want to make it complicated for you here, inshallah. What you have to know here in this lesson is who are ashab al-furud, who are asabat, who are ulul arham. Ashab al-furud are those whose shares are mentioned in the Quran, like whom? Like for example, the mother, her share is mentioned in the Quran that if there are children, she'll take 1/6. If there are no children, she'll take 1/3. It's mentioned in the Quran. So she is ashab al-furud. Like for example, the husband, his share is mentioned in the Quran. If there are no children, he's going to have half of the property. If there are children, he'll take 1/4 of the property. All those whose shares are mentioned in the Quran come under the ashab al-furud. Then comes asabat. These are the male members of the family whose shares are not mentioned. They take the remaining. These people you can call them as primary heirs. These people you can call them as secondary heirs as well. And these are ulul arham, as I told you. Ulul arham are those who are connected to the deceased through a female member in the family. Let's now come to the issue of hajb nuqsan and hajb hirman. Hajb is a very important thing in inheritance. Here, nuqsan and hirman. Nuqsan means what? Let's first of all take hajb. Hajb means what? Hajb means exclusion. Someone is being excluded. Someone is being impeded. That's hajr. And nuqsan means partial, hirman means totally. There are cases in which people are totally excluded from inheritance, and there are people who are partially excluded. The ones who are partially excluded, we call them as hajr nuqsan. Those who are completely excluded from the inheritance are known as hajr hirman. Let me give you the example of both, of nuqsan and hirman. What is nuqsan? Partial. And hirman is full. Hirman is totally excluded. See now, let me give you an easy example. If there was a husband, for example, and there were no children, a woman died, leaving behind her husband and no children, how much will he deserve? Half of the property, isn't it? But what if the woman was having children? How much will he deserve? He will deserve 1/4. So is this lesser than this or no? 1/4 is lesser than half or no? It is less. So this is nuqsan. He is being partially deprived from something which he would have deserved. Isn't it? So you call this as hajr nuqsan. This is not hajr hirman. Likewise, if there was, let's say, a person left behind him 2 daughters, or let's say a person died leaving behind him 1 daughter, if there's 1 daughter only, how much will she deserve? Half. If there are 2 daughters, how much will they deserve together? 2/3. 2 daughters, they will deserve how much? 2/3. They will deserve 2/3. So if there's only 1 daughter, she's going to deserve half. If there are 2 daughters, they will deserve 2/3. 2 daughters together receiving 2/3. How much each daughter is deserving in this case, in the case of 2 daughters? Each daughter is taking how much? 1/3. See, if this is the whole thing, this is 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. 2/3 are being given to the daughters, which means each daughter is taking 1/3. This daughter, if she was all alone, how much she would have deserved? Half. But her share is being reduced now. This reduction, she's not being excluded, but her share is being reduced. This is known as nuqsan. If she's excluded completely, then you'll call it as hirman. So there are cases in which a person's share drops. He deserves a lesser amount, not the complete amount. So if this thing happens, this could happen also with whom? With the mother. How much will the mother deserve if there are no children? 1/3. And the children are there? 1/6. So this is again hajr nuqsan. There could be hajr hirman as well. Like what? For example, if a person left a grandfather, let's say, person died, leaving behind a grandfather and children. How much would the grandfather deserve? 1/6. Let's say that the person, in the second case, a person died, leaving behind him his father and his grandfather. How much would the grandfather deserve in this case? Nothing. If the father is there, the grandfather will deserve nothing. So we'll say nothing. So this is what? When he's given nothing, that's what? That's hirman. He's being totally excluded due to the presence of the father. The same when you go to the descendants. If a person is having a son, or if a person is having a grandson, let's say, a person is having a grandson and he died, leaving behind a grandson. How much will the grandson take? A person died, leaving behind him only 1 grand lovely son. How much will he deserve? The whole state. He will take, the grandson will take the whole thing. If he's the only one, he's going to take the whole thing. We are speaking about someone who died leaving behind only 1 grandson. Nothing else. Only 1 grandson. The whole thing will be taken by the grandson because nobody is there. He's the only one. What if there was a son and a grandson? If there is a son and a grandson, the son will take the whole thing the grandson will be excluded. This grandson was in the first case deserving the whole property. In this case, due to the presence of the son, is totally excluded. So there are cases of hirman and there are cases of nuqsan. Case when a person's share will drop and case when a person will lose his share and not have anything. There are many examples for this. For example, if there are children and brothers, due to the presence of the children, the brothers will not deserve anything. The brothers, the sisters will not deserve anything. If the man is having brothers only and sisters, then the brothers and sisters will share the property between themselves to the ratio of 2 to 1. But if they are children, then the brothers are totally excluded. So there are cases of total exclusion and there are cases of partial exclusion. The cases of partial exclusion is known as hajb, nuqsan, and the cases of total exclusion is known as hajb, hirman. In page 24 you can see an important matter here in page 24, which is about things which are included in the state. Which are the things which you can include in the state or in the property if a person dies? If a person dies, he leaves behind him what? Tarika. The property which is left after a person's death is known as tarika. The tarika includes many things. It includes the cash which the person is having. He's having 1 million dirhams in cash in the bank, Dubai Islamic Bank, so that cash will be taken as inheritance. Beside the cash, if he's having a property, a land, or a building, or a house, or a farm, or a company, or an industry, for example, so these things will be also counted as his estate, among his estate. Things for which he deserves a compensation. He worked for some institute for 1 complete year and he didn't take anything of his compensation of his salary. So that compensation will be included in his estate. All these things are included in a person's estate. Let me ask you a question now. What about the insurance? Life insurance. Life insurance means what? When the person will die, the insurance company will come and give them the cost of the man. This man is worth 1 million dirhams, take 1 million dirhams. Insurance, life insurance. Is it lawful to take life insurance as a part of the property of the man or no?
So is life insurance allowed?
This is the question which you have to ask now. Is that halal or not? The answer to the question will make the answer is the answer to the issue actually. Insurance in general, the commercial insurance, as we said, is haram. So life insurance is haram. So something which is haram, something which is unlawful will not be taken as a part of the estate of the man or the property of the man. You can do only one thing. Take it and give it to the poor. Do not benefit from it. This is known as takhallus, getting rid of some money which you don't deserve or which is not lawful for you.
So all of what we are doing is for only for men or women as well. Like if a woman leaves behind a son, is it similar for women as well?
If a woman leaves behind her a son.
Yes, like similarly if a woman leaves behind a daughter and a husband.
Yeah.
And then only a daughter.
Yeah.
Is it similar to how it is?
Yeah, the daughters will always deserve something.
Similar to how it is in case of a father? Or
Yeah, it is similar. It is similar. If there is a husband, then it is similar. Yeah. There won't be much change in these cases because we focus on the person who's there. What is the status of that person? Is he a daughter? Is he a son? Is he an uncle? Based on the title of the man, we decide the share. So whether he is the daughter of a woman or daughter of a man, that won't create any difference.
So if a woman dies, leaving behind a husband, brothers and sisters, and no children, how would it be?
If the husband is there and brothers and sisters are there, no children are there, in case of no children, the husband takes half. The husband takes half. The other half will go to whom? To the brothers and sisters. How will you give it to the brothers and sisters? In the ratio of 2 to 1. Count every brother as 2 people and every sister as 1 people. 1 brother and 1 sister means 2 men and 1 woman. So you have 3 people in this case. Divide the remaining estate into 3 parts and give everyone 1 part, and that will be sufficient.
Do the parents also inherit from the daughter?
Hmm?
Do the parents inherit from the daughter as well?
The parents, they inherit from the daughters. Yeah. If a woman dies leaving behind her parents, then in that case the mother will take 1/3. If she's not having children, then the mother will take 1/3, and the father will take the remaining. The remaining will go to the
If
father.
she's married?
If she's married, the husband will take half of the property, and the remaining will be given to the parents. 1/3. 1/3 of the remaining property will be given to the mother, and the things remaining after that will be given to the father.
And the brothers and sisters would be...
The brothers and sisters are excluded if the father or the children are there.
And if children are there, parents are also excluded?
If the children are there, the parents are not excluded. The parents, they suffer hajab nuqsan, that the share of the parents will drop. It will not be as it was
In any
before.
case, they won't be dropped.
Yeah. There are some people who are never excluded. They may suffer a drop, but they are not excluded completely. There are people who are never excluded completely. Among them you have the father, the grandfather, or you have the father, the mother, the children, you have the spouses. These people are never excluded completely. They undergo hajab nuqsan, but no hirman. You cannot exclude them completely. So if we'll go stepwise, inshallah, we're going to understand all these things. Clearly. We're speaking about things which are included in the property of a man who died. A person who died, what are the things which are included in his property? We said the cash is included in his property. We also said the property, the buildings and other things which he's having is also included in his estate. And the compensations which he deserved will be included in his estate. All together you have to see how much it makes. Even the blood money, if the man was killed, for example, he will deserve a blood money. That blood money will be included in his estate and will be divided between the children. And about the life insurance, we said that life insurance is haram. If the man gained some life insurance after his death, that life insurance should be given to the poor and not to be used by the heirs.
The family reserves his property and everything. So if he has to pay someone, then that situation also they have to pay to that. They have to pay the debt.
Yeah, they have to pay the debt.
It's a must.
It's a must. They have to pay the debt, and then if the man who died was having a loan, then the family will have to pay the loan from the property of the man who died.
Okay, what if he doesn't have enough?
Then it will be a kindness from the family if they pay, because this kindness will prevent the man from being in adab in the qabr.
Also, I remember you said that if the heirs they have to bear, like when he does something they have to bear it. That's right.
Yeah, this is in his life. No, this is in his life. When he's alive and he's in need for some help, then the family members are responsible, like the children, brothers, the fathers. These are the people who are responsible when in his life. But after his death, you cannot oblige the children to pay something which they didn't do, which they are not responsible for, or the brothers. But it will definitely be a kindness if he does that. This is in the case when the man is not leaving behind him any property. And in other case, in case of Baytul Mal, if Baytul Mal was there, if a man dies, Baytul Mal is responsible to pay for these people, for the debt of the man.
So here where do his families get
There are some people in India who are trying to make the Baytul Mal. Allah give them strength. If they are successful, then it will benefit all the Muslims.
So for example, like now we have around 1 lakh For business we have taken not loan from the bank, but particularly from people so that we have to pay for finance. So in that case, I always have this fear. So what if we are not able to pay this
See,
big amount?
life goes like that. There are cases in which a person needs loans. A person should not stop his life because he's in need for loan. Take the loan, but take with a good intention. Take the precautions. Make proper arrangements. The Prophet ﷺ took, some loans. His dirham, his armor was with a Jew because he took some food or something from the man, some money from the man, from the Jewish man. And the Prophet ﷺ died without paying that thing. And because his dirham, his armor was as a guarantee with the man, he took the dirham, he took the armor. So these are some precautions which you can take from the prayer. You may make some, deals with the people. In case I died without paying this thing, take it from so and so, or take so and so of my property, or you can keep something as mortgage with the man that if I die, this could be for you, and so on and so forth. In order to make sure that you don't die leaving a debt behind you, that you arranged for the things. And there's a spiritual thing related to the loans as well. The Prophet ﷺ says, he who takes loans from the people with the intention to pay them back, not to eat them up and destroy them, no. With the intention to pay them back, Allah will pay on his behalf. Which means Allah will make it easy for him. Allah will create causes for him to enable him to pay. This is because of his good intention. And if a person, the continuation of the hadith says, if a person takes loans from the people in order to spoil the property of the people, not to give them back, to destroy them, whatever, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will curse him or will disable him. So there's a hadith in this regard, which actually shows that the thing is dependent on your intention. I saw a man, an elderly man who died leaving behind him a huge loan in the bank. And after his death, his son at that time was like 16 or 17 years old. This son, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a job immediately after the death of his father, which qualified the son to pay back those installments, that loan. Someone who was only studying in a school at that time, no concept of job and working other thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a job and He qualified him to pay the loan of his father. How did this happen? For me it's a miracle, Someone who's not qualified to do anything, is still studying in the school, is a child, is granted a job. This is because the sincerity of the man who died actually. When he took the loan, he was having a good intention. This is a clear indication that he was having a good intention to pay back the loan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala qualified his son to pay it back. And this is the meaning of the hadith, that Allah will pay it back on his behalf.
So what the person has taken the loan and we don't realize if we intend to take 10 and it becomes 20, 30. So what if this fear is always torturing the person? Is it from shaitan or it's from Allah? You worry too much about it.
Don't be worried too much, Be just with yourself as well. If you are in need and you feel that with your business and with other stuff you can pay the thing, take that loan with some precautions and some good deal. Make some good deal on it. Okay, so there are two principles which are mentioned here in page number 24. The first principle, now these two principles are related to hajj, to the matter of hajj. The first principle, hajj, as we said, means exclusion. Exclusion could be either total or partial. On page 24 you have two principles related to hajj. The first principle says, when a potential inheritor is connected to the deceased through another person, and if that person is present or alive, then the potential inheritor is impeded by that other person. Means you are connected to the deceased through a person. If that person through whom you are connected is existing, then you will not deserve anything. Like a grandfather and a grandson. The grandfather is connected to the grandson through whom? Who's the link in between? The father. The grandfather is connected to his grandson through a link in between. That is the son of the grandfather and the father of the grandson. So there is a link in between. As long as this link is there in between, the grandfather will not inherit the grandson. And the grandson will not inherit the grandfather because the link is there. So if the son dies, the father will take it. And if the father dies, or the grandfather dies, the son will take it. And the grand people will not take anything as long as the link is there in between. Let's say, for example, if a person dies leaving behind him a cousin, the cousin is connected to a man through whom? To the father and to the uncle. The uncle's son is cousin. So if the father and the uncle are there, then the cousin will not take anything, because the link through whom the cousin is linked to you, that link is existing. You have to remove those links to get the inheritance from them. This is the meaning of the first principle.
Your cousin is from Asabat?
From Asabat, yeah, from the Asabat, because he's a secondary heir. His share is not mentioned clearly in the Quran, so he's from the Asabat. The second principle says, this is the principle of nearer in relation. The nearer in relation will deserve the inheritance, and the farther will be excluded. Like, let's say there's a mother, and they say, this won't be a proper example. Let's say that there's a brother, full brother, and a half brother. Who's closer? The full brother is closer. So the full brother will exclude the half brother. So the nearer you are, the more you deserve, and those who are farther will be excluded. This is the second principle which is mentioned here. There are many principles actually. If you go to the detailed books of fiqh, you may find many different issues. We spoke about types of heirs and Ashab al-Furud. Let's go to some details of Ashab al-Furud. We said that Ashab al-Furud, or the primary heirs, are those whose names are mentioned in the Quran, and the shares are also mentioned in the Quran. Who are Ashab al-Furud now? Who are the primary heirs by name? By name, you can see in the book, in page number 29, you can see that the father, altogether they are 12. Ashab al-Furud, altogether, the primary heirs, Ashab al-Furud, altogether they are 12. Don't read the book now, just for your information. You can put some notes there that this is about Ashab al-Furud and so on. Just listen to me. So Ashab al-Furud, or those whose shares are clearly mentioned, are specified, are 12. Of these 12, 9 are mentioned in the Quran and 3 are included by Qiyas. Ashab al-Furud, altogether they are 12, of which 3 are included by Qiyas and 9 are mentioned in the Quran. So we are also using Qiyas in this issue. The first one is father. The second one is husband. The third one is uterine brothers. Uterine brothers are the brothers on the mother's side. These are the uterine brothers. These are 3 males. These are 3 males. And then you have the females now, a long list of females. Females are always there. They are always blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are being pampered in these laws, given more and much. The females, among the females, you have the mothers, you have the widow, you have the daughter, you have the full sister, half sister from father's side, and the uterine sister. All these people are included among the Dhawil Furud. They have fixed shares. And by Qiyas, there are 3 people who are included by Qiyas. Who are there? The grandfather, and the grandmother, and the granddaughter. These are the ones who are included by Qiyas. Now let's focus on the shares of these people. What is the share of a father? He either takes 1/6 or 1/3 or the remaining. There are cases in which he takes the remaining, the whole thing he takes it away. What is the share of the husband? The husband takes either half or 1/4, as mentioned in the Quran. We'll come to details inshallah. I'm just briefly telling you. They are in the coming pages. You'll find them in detail there inshallah. The mother takes either 1/6 or 1/3. The daughter, if there's only one daughter, she'll take half of the property. If there are more than one, then they'll take 2/3. This is in case they are only daughters, no brothers, no male children. The full sisters, if there's only one sister who's inheriting the man, she'll deserve half the property. 2 sisters or more, they will take 2/3. Okay? And the case of half sister from the father's side, if the man is not having full sisters, the half sisters will deserve the same thing, either the half or 2/3 or 1/6 in some cases. Even the full sisters, there are cases in which they deserve 1/6, and we'll discuss those cases later, inshallah. The uterine sisters, the sisters from the mother's side, this is mentioned in the Quran in the last verse of Surah An-Nisa. If there's only one, the uterine sisters together, they deserve 1/3. So this is the share of the uterine sisters, and the 3 who are included by qiyas. Among them, you have the grandfather, 1/6. You have the grandmother, 1/6. You have the son's daughter. Son's daughter is dealt exactly like a daughter, like an immediate daughter. If a person dies, leaving behind him a granddaughter, the granddaughter, the son's daughter, not the daughter's daughter, the son's daughter, is counted as an immediate daughter. She will deserve what a daughter deserves. Half if she is alone, and 2/3 if she is with sisters. She is having sisters with her. So these are Ashab al-Furud. What you have to know here, that the Ashab al-Furud, the primary heirs are 12. This is what you have to know. Of which 9 are mentioned in the Quran and 3 are included by qiyas. Now we'll take the cases of the spouses. Inshallah, this I need some concentration. It's very easy, it's not difficult at all, and you are smart students, you are qualified students. The cases of the spouses, they call it ahwal al-zawjayn. Ahwal al-zawjayn. This is the easiest actually, Ahwal al-Zawjayn. Let me ask you now the questions. You will answer now. If the wife was all alone and there were no children, the husband died, leaving only one wife and no children, how much will be the share of the wife in this case? Half is wrong. If the wife is there, husband died, wife is there, and there are no children, what will be the share of the wife? 1/4. If there are no children, the wife will deserve 1/4. This is the first case. From the cases of spouses, the first case is when a person dies, leaving behind him a wife and no children. Forget about the remaining. She takes 1/4. We'll forget about the remaining. We'll learn the remaining afterwards, inshallah. Just focus on the wife. Take it one by one. If the man dies, leaving behind a wife and children, how much will the wife deserve now? 1/6. What is the half of 1/4? 1/8. So the wife is between 2 options, either 1/4 or 1/8.
That's so less.
What if the man was having 8 million dirhams? 1/8 means how much?
But what is it? Around 10 dirhams.
If 10 dirhams, because that shows that the man, that his wife didn't help him in his business. So that if the person is not having sufficient of money after his death, that shows that the wife didn't help him in his business. If she would have helped him, if she is smart enough, she will say that I have to help this man to get something from him.
Being a wife is a big help.
Yeah, she itself is a help. She is the source of life. She is for the husband, everything which he loves, and he lives for her. So there's lots of benefit in that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised this thing in the Quran. But we are speaking right now about the property. How we have to, the property is also something which is loved by human beings. Whether you love the man or no, you definitely love the property. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ وَالْقَنَاطِيرِ الْمُقَنطَرَةِ. That people love the spouses, the children, and gold and silver. This is mentioned in the Quran. So this is
So that is a man.
okay.
See, he did, Allah didn't mention even they don't have.
Okay, so these are arguments.
You said the Sabbath they get a rest, whatever is left,
Yeah.
because they look after.
Yeah.
Somehow they're connected, because somehow they have to look after.
They are the male members. Of
Yeah.
the
So don't you think in that case she should get enough to live her life?
yeah.
So 1/8.
1/8 is not a. You should not belittle 1/8. You know, in one of the cases, Abdul Rahman bin Auf, one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, he died, leaving behind him 4 wives. What will be the share of these 4 wives? 1/8. All together will deserve 1/8. You know how much did they get? More than alf. Each wife got more than alf. Alf means 1 million. Each wife, that 1/8 was that huge that every wife got more than 1 million. So do not belittle it. And there are many cases, you know.
So in the business, how do you sell the business and give the
Yeah, there are 2 cases. If there are 2 options. If there is a person who died leaving behind a business, that the heirs, they maintain the business and they'll become the members of the board. They'll run the business and they'll divide them according to the shares. The other thing, if there are disputes, they don't want to work together, they want to break it, then the judge will sell the business and take the money and divide it according to the shares of the children or whatever and give it to them. So this is the case, 2 cases for the wife we mentioned here. The first, she deserves 1/4. The second, she deserves 1/8. Let's come to the husband now. The husband, if a wife dies, if a woman dies, leaving behind a husband and no children, what will be the share of the husband? Half. What if the wife dies, leaving behind children? What will be the share of the husband? 1/4. So it's either half or 1/4. These are the cases of the husband. Now let me give you a question here.
Very similar to him, I appreciate.
Why don't you say that the woman was lucky when she got the dowry? So let me give you a question now, so that you can, practice it and try to get some information from it. Let's say that a man died, leaving behind him wife, 1 son, 1 daughter. Wife, 1 son, 1 daughter. It's very easy. Just think about it. What will you do in this case?
One time left,
Yeah.
wives and
Yeah. Let me write it down here.
So we divide the whole thing
1 wife,
into 8 parts.
2, 1 son, 3, 1, 2, 3 people are there. 1 wife, 1 son, 1 daughter. Tell me the share of the wife. 1. Are you sure it's 1/8? Or are you doubtful?
Sure.
Very sure? Are you sure? Okay, 1/8. What about the son and the daughter?
Daughter
Let me give you a hand. They will take the remaining.
Remaining 2 to 1 ratio.
Tell me, how to divide the remaining thing?
So the son will take, the daughter will take 1 part and the son will take
The remaining thing will be divided into 3 parts.
3 parts.
Give 2 parts to the son and 1 part to the daughter. The other way which I told you, how to calculate these people.
2, 1.
Yeah.
We'll count them as 2 people, and this is as
Daughter
1
as
people.
one.
So how many people we have? We have 3 people. That's why you have to divide the remaining thing into 3 parts, of which you give 1 part to the daughter and 2 parts to the son. So in this case, the proper way of solving this issue is like this. I'll tell you the way which will help you to do this for yourself, for your friends, for your family members. The wife deserves 8. Whenever you have this 8 here, you have to either divide into 8 parts or 24 parts. In this case, if you divide it into 8 parts, what is the remaining after dividing into 8 parts? In this case, if you divide the property into 8 parts, give 1 part to the wife. How many parts are remaining? 7 parts are remaining. Can you give 7 parts to 3 people? We said that you have to count them as 3, isn't it? Can you divide 7 parts on 3 people? You cannot do that. So instead of having 8, go to 24. This is the second option. If 24 doesn't work, then you have to multiply 24 with 2 and go to that option, and so on and so forth, until you reach to a number which is divisible on these 3 people, on 3. 7 is not divisible on 3. Is this divisible on 3? 24? Is it divisible? In 3?
Yeah.
Before dividing on 3, what is the 1/8 of 24? If you divide 24 into 8 parts, 3 is 1/8. 1/8 of, I'll get write it here, 1/8 of 24 is 3. So from 24 you will give 3 to the wife, isn't it? After giving 3 to the wife, what is remaining? 21. Can you divide this 21 on 3 people?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, divide it into 3 parts. 7 plus 7 plus 7. How many people you have?
3.
You have 3 people because one son is counted as 2. Give 2 parts to the son and 1 part to the daughter. The son will going to get 14, the daughter will get 7. This is the double of daughter's share. Okay, let me give you another example here. Let's say that a man died, leaving behind him a cousin, maternal uncle, 2 sons and 3 daughters. Cousins,
And daughters will
cousins, maternal uncles, sons and daughters.
sons and daughters will make
Will
them
exclude the
exclude them.
maternal uncles, everybody is excluded. If the sons, the children are there, the others are. The male children are there, the others are excluded. So it's easy. 2 sons and 3 daughters. How to divide the property now? Into how many shares?
2 sons will count as 4.
4 and 3 daughters as 3. 4 and 3, 7. Divide the property into 7 parts. Give each son 2 parts and give each daughter 1 part. So this is very easy. You are becoming scholars in inheritance now, mashallah. You can answer the questions. And this is a great achievement, really great achievement, because I feel that when I was in your age of learning like you people, at that time I was feeling a difficulty in understanding this, a great difficulty. But alhamdulillah, you are better than me in learning. May Allah bless you all. You remember. Just go to the book twice and thrice. I really love the students when they go through the book, not for the sake of exam, for the information, because this is Islamic knowledge. If you get the degree and you don't have the knowledge in your mind, it's worthless actually. It's worthless. So you have to go through the book. The first book which I read in inheritance was a small book which was written by Ibn Uthaymeen. I'll not be mistaken if I said that I read that book maybe 20 times, 25 times. Yeah. So you have to do the same thing with this thing. Read them several times so that the informations are there. These informations will never stick in your mind if you read the book once. It will not stick in your mind. You have to read them several times. Still, when you raise some questions, I feel that I'm puzzled, because it's complicated. Yet if you can remember the basics, that will be very helpful for you, inshallah. I just you forget about your country now. You are no more than in that country. Change the country now. So you're blessed to be away from your country now. Try to raise up your children in a way which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not in that cultural way where they abuse the Islamic rules. Now let's come to the cases of the father. The father, basically there are 3 principles related to the father. The first principle, that the father sometimes he gets only his fard, his Quranic share That's the first case, when he gets only what is mentioned in the Quran. What is mentioned in the Quran, the Quranic share, or his fard only, gets only by fard, is when he takes as a primary heir only, and nothing more than that. Only as a primary heir, he inherits only as a primary heir, sahibu fard. This is when the man who died is having a father and having children as well, male children. If a man who died, he died leaving behind male children and a father, the father will take only the fard, the prescribed share in the Quran. That's 1/6, and that's it. Not more than that. And the remaining will go to the sons, to the children. This is the first case. In this case, we say that the father is taking only by fard, only as a primary heir, only that part which is prescribed in the Quran. Now, before going to the other principle or other case, which is again one of the cases related to the father, let me ask you a question. Is father counted among the asabat or no? Father, is he counted among the asabat or no? Who's asaba? Those who take the remaining things, the male members who take the remaining after giving the primary heirs their shares. What's remaining goes to the asabat. Father, is he asabat or no? Is he a male heir?
So after he will get his share, if something remaining,
He will still get it. Yeah. This means that he is asabat. Let's say that his share is 1/6 or 1/3 or whatever. But there was no other people to get, no children, no one. Who will get the remaining? He himself, because he is asabat. Father is a male close member, he is asabat. But when they are other heirs, especially like the sons, then the father is given only the primary share. But if there is no one, then he gets as he inherits like a asaba, like a member of asaba. Yeah.
The uncles, father's brother.
Yeah.
They also get share, and
They
then
also
still
get
was there, father gets that.
No, if the father is there, the uncles will not get anything, because we took the principle which is the closer one takes and the farther ones are excluded. If the closer one is there, the farther ones are excluded.
So in case the brothers are still there, the father will get for the primary as well as for the asaba.
Yeah, because the father will exclude the brothers, the cousins, the uncles, all of them are excluded by the father.
So is it similar to the sons?
Yeah, the son, if the son is there, the grandsons are excluded. Who
And the
excluded
brothers
them?
are also excluded?
The brothers are also excluded because these are closer. The closer ones, they exclude the farther ones. This is a principle. So the second case, we said that the first case is when the father gets 1/6 only as a primary heir, sahibu fard. The second case when he gets as asib, as asabat. And this is when there's no one, it's only the father. He'll take the whole thing because he's the asaba. He's from the asaba. The third case is when he takes by fard and by asaba, by both the stations or by both the titles. Now this is the case when there is a mother and a father. Let's say, for example, I die, leaving behind a mother and a father. How much will the mother deserve in this case? The mother will deserve 1/12 because there are no children. How much will the father deserve? He will deserve the remaining. 2/3 will be taken by the father. So it's actually 1/6 which belongs to him actually. 1/6 belongs to him.
If there are kids.
No, if they are kids, yeah. But he's taking 2/3 because the remaining after 1/6, there's no one to take them. So he's taking the remaining as well. So altogether becomes 2/3. Now let's come to the issue of Umariyatain, with which we'll stop the lesson inshallah. We'll study the Umariyatain and then we'll stop the... Now we'll take the issue of Umariyatain, with which we'll stop inshallah. What are Umariyatain? Before going to Umariyatain, tell me now, what is the share of the mother if there are no children? The mother, we're not speaking about the wife and husband, we're speaking about the mother. If there are no children, the mother will deserve how much? If there are no children, the mother will deserve 1/3. And if there are children, the mother will deserve 1/6. Keep this in your mind. If there are children, the man who died is having children, then the mother will deserve 1/6. If there are no children, then the mother will deserve 1/3. Keep this as a principle in your mind.
Even if he has a wife?
Even if he's having a wife, that in all those cases, the mother will deserve. The matter of 1/3 and 1/6 is based on the children, not on wives and all those things. We are speaking about the mother now. The mother deserves either 1/3 or 1/6 based on existence of children. If they are there, the male children are there, then or the children are there, then the mother will deserve 1/6, and if they are not there, then she will deserve 1/3. What are Umariyatain? Umariyatain are two cases. Case one says husband, mother, father. Case two, this is case one. Case two says widow, mother, and father. These are two cases. Now tell me, if a man dies, leaving behind, or if a woman dies, leaving behind a husband, a woman dies, leaving behind her husband, and mother, and father, what will be the share of the husband? Half, because there are no children. So half will be taken by the husband. The mother, how much will she deserve?
1/3.
1/3. This is the problem now. What is remaining for the father? One-sixth is remaining for the father in this case. What's remaining for the father is 1/6. Now tell me, the mother and the father, who's responsible for whom? The father is responsible for the mother. And according to the law, in this case, the father is getting lesser than the mother. The father is getting 1/6, and she's getting 1/3. She's getting a bigger share, while a male in the same category is getting a lesser share. So this is one of the issues in which Umar radiallahu made an amendment. Let me show you the case now. You have half and 1/3 and 1/6. Now the remedy for this issue is divide the whole thing into 6 parts. Like this. This is 6 parts. 1/6 is here. This is 1/6. This is 1/6. 1/6. 1/6. 1/6. 1/6. Okay? Now let's come to this spot here. The husband deserves half. This is half. This is what the husband will take away. 1/3. You know what's 1/3? 2 1/6 will make 1/3. This and this. Because we said that this part is taken by the husband, from the remaining, from here, 2 parts together will make 1/3. This will be taken by this 1/3 is taken by the. What's left for the husband or for the father is 1/6. Umar ibn Khattab said that in this case, the father is getting lesser than the mother. And cases in which you have mother and father, the mother should get 1/3 and the father should get 2/3. The cases in which you have only father and mothers, you have to give the mother 1/3 and the father 2/3. So he came back to the issue. He said the remaining thing, after you give the husband his share, he said the remaining thing, 2/3 will be for the mother, for the father, and 1/3 will be for the mother. How many parts we have as remaining here? 1, 2, and 3. So he said 2 parts should go to the father and 1 part to the mother. And this is exactly in accordance with the Quranic law, which says that the males should get the double of the females. So based on that, on his conclusion and his understanding, he said that in this case there should be an amendment. And that's why you call this case as Umariyya. This is Umariyya. That the mother is getting 1/3 of the remaining and not 1/3 of the whole property. In this case, Umar ibn Khattab decided that the mother should get 1/3 of the remaining and not 1/3 of the whole property. The only change Umar Khattab made based on his understanding of Quran, that the remaining 1/3 of the remaining should go to the father, 1/3 of the remaining should go to the mother, and 2/3 to the father. This is the first case of the Umariyya thing. The second case, a widow and a mother and a father. Widow will deserve how much? There are no children, mind you. A woman will deserve 1/4. Are you with me? The wife will deserve 1/4. Is that true? Why 1/4? No children. The mother will deserve again 1/3 because there are no children. Father will deserve the remaining. What's remaining now? What is the remaining in this case? Come on. We have 1/3 and 1/4. The remaining will be 1/6. So again, the father is getting lesser than the mother. So Umar ibn Khattab made another amendment. He decided to do what? He decided to give the mother 1/3 of the remaining, 1/3 of the remaining, and not 1/3 of the whole property. So if you want to reach to 1/4, just divide the property into 2 parts, into 4 parts. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. We give 1/4 to the widow. According to the Quranic way,
1/3 mother.
1/3 should be taken by the mother, and
Remaining
they yeah.
So we have to remember this thing, that not from the whole property, but from the remaining.
From the remaining. So Umar ibn Khattab comes here and says, from the remaining, from these 3 parts which are remaining, 1 part will be given as remaining 1/3 of the remaining to the mother, and 2 parts will be given to the father as the 2/3 of the remaining. With this, we come to the end of the issues of inheritance for today. Tomorrow we'll speak about the shares of the mother, shares of the grandmother, or in the coming class, inshallah, grandmother, grandfather, brothers and sisters, and as much as we can, inshallah, beside these issues, inshallah. Brothers and sisters on the mother's side, that's also an important issue. After that, we'll do lots of, like exercises so that we can make sure that you understood the issues.